Hey there again, it's Brian. Thank you for joining me for another installment of There You Go with Brian. Today I am right here by Lake Willowmere. What a beautiful sight. I don't know if you can, it's pretty sunny out here. I don't know if you can see that fountain, but it is just really pretty. You got the little bridge right over there. What a beautiful spot. This is at Graceland Cemetery, and anybody who's anybody in Chicago history is buried right here at Graceland. I'm just looking at some of these markers. I have no idea who some of these people are. Graceland Cemetery was founded in 1860 and has become the final resting place to many of Chicago's most famous residents. Of course, it's also rumored to have a ghost or two. The cemetery at the corner of Clark Street and Irving Park Road spans 119 acres and is one of the oldest and biggest cemeteries in Chicago. I'm not exactly sure who's right across the pond, but we'll find out. Thomas Bryan, a lawyer with a successful Chicago practice, bought 80 acres of land to build out Graceland as a beautiful garden cemetery. He hired prominent landscape architect H.W.S. Cleveland, who was also behind other famous cemeteries, to work on the project. Bryan established the cemetery in 1860, and the state gave him a perpetual charter in 1861. His son was the very first person buried here. But the person that we came here to Graceland today to see is somebody who's more of the artistic type. And she's a Chicago legend, and I used to go over to her dance center to see the wonderful productions they would put on. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm all about dance. I mean, after studying the works of George Balanchine and then moving on to being more of a Bob Fosse kind of fella, well, you know, that just always gave me a great appreciation for dancers and their lives. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. A living legend in Chicago for more than 70 years, Ruth Page. Ruth Page was born March 22nd, 1899. She was an American ballerina and choreographer who created innovative works on American themes. She made her professional debut on Broadway in 1917, then with Anna Pavlova's company on its tour of South America in 1918, and at Chicago Auditorium Theater in John Alden Carpenter's The Birthday of the Infanta in 1919. She choreographed, danced, toured, and produced in all parts of the world. Ruth was employed by, collaborated with, and employed some of the greatest artists of the 20th century, including Irving Berlin, Adolph Baum, and Tony Clave, Aaron Copland, Katherine Dunham, Margaret Fonteine, Rudolf Nureyev, Anna Pavlova, and Bentley Stone, just to name a few. As her life in the art of dance unfolded, Ruth Page established a record of being first by creating at the forefront of social, political, and artistic issues. For Miss Page, the ballerina, to cross over and be featured in Irving Berlin's 1922 Music Box Review, a popular review, was astonishing for its time. She was the first American to dance with Ballet Russe in 1925. In that spring, she was the first American to commission George Balanchine, another newcomer to the Ballet Russe, to create a ballet for her entitled Polka Malanchalik. From 1926 through 1928, she became ballet director of the Ravinia Opera, danced with Chicago Allied Arts for Marie, Queen of Romania, and was the first American guest ballet soloist with the Metropolitan Opera. In the late 1920s, 30s, and 40s, Americana subjects, feminist ballets, and urban characters were topical in her work. Ruth went after the offbeat and choreographed outside the standard classical repertory of fairy tale swans and princesses. She created the first American ballet titled The Flapper and the Quarterback in 1926, and Sun Worshippers, later titled Oak Street Beach in 1929. The Page Stone Ballet was the first American ballet company to tour South America. Page is an extraordinary, if under-recognized figure in the cultural history of Chicago, perhaps best remembered for her annual Nutcracker production staged since 1965. Page received in 1978 one of the many angry letters protesting a black boy as a companion to the little white girl. She responded, "The Nutcracker, as you know, is a fairy tale, and the color of anyone's skin does not matter at all." And here we go, right by the edge of the lake, we find the final resting place of Ruth Page, the Grand Lady of Ballet in Chicago. Wow, what a beautiful stone. It really fits her style as far as being so modern and progressive. I mean, she was one of the first choreographers in the world to start incorporating more urban themes into ballet. She went to the Metropolitan Opera and she said, "I loved the sound that I heard from the opera when I was there, but I just did not like the visual." So she started figuring out ways that she could incorporate ballet into opera, trying to figure out ways that she could work in more urban themes into ballet. She put together a production back in the early 1930s where she went to Chicago's Brunsville, and she would gather up all of these black dancers, and they would put on a production. And she was the only white person in the production, and they would put on a ballet in downtown Chicago. It was quite revolutionary to do that in 1930. At any rate, she has the Ruth Page Dance Center in downtown Chicago. I highly recommend you go there. I went there several times to see different productions they were putting on, and just wonderful young dancers. Actually started out in one century and ended up at the end of the other century. And what a beautiful spot to rest. And lest I be remiss, if you have a hard time finding Ruth, which I don't think you will because she's right here by this beautiful lake, you will find that her next door neighbor is baseball great Ernie Banks, loving husband, father, and friend to all. And that's true. I literally was doing a show down at the Trump Hotel, and Ernie Banks was there waiting for an elevator, and he was talking to me, nicest guy in the world. Awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama, November 20th, 2013. Well, you're not going to do much better than that. Look at that. They've even got red, white, and blue flowers down there. Got the Cubs colors. What a beautiful place. It's a final resting place for Mr. Cub. And somebody put a baseball up there for him. Do you approve, Ruth? Did you like baseball? I guess she did. One of Ruth's neighbors here. I have no idea what this is, but it looks like something out of Star Trek. What a very cool stone. And in case you're wondering if Ruth Page was here alone, she's not. She's got her second husband, André Delfew. Born in Paris, France, 1914, passed away in 2000. And if you haven't seen his artwork, he was an artist who did a lot of stage sets for theater and ballet, and just a wonderful artist. Used a lot of vibrant colors, and it was quite beautiful, the stuff that he did. So be sure you check him out too. But he's right here next to his wife, Ruth. Ruth Page, Chicago's First Lady of Dance. I'll leave you a little flower there, Ruthie. There you go. Rest easy. Well, that's going to do it for me here at the final resting place of Ruth Page, one of the innovators of American-themed dance and the Chicago's First Lady of Ballet at Graceland Cemetery. If you enjoyed this vlog and would like to support more of these adventures, don't forget to click the Patreon or Venmo link below. We always appreciate your support. And until next time, I'm Bryan. There you go.
Something old, something new, something for me, something for you. It's a big, big world. Let's check it out.